Coach Julian, you've got the Eric Anderson Memorial Invite up at Plants Ferry Park this weekend for cross country. Why don't you tell us about who's going to run from your men's and women's teams?
Probably the most important component of this meet is for our women to get a really strong, hard effort in. So we're going to send our top girls squad there, and that'll be, well, that's everybody. Anybody that's healthy is going to be racing. So, and we're going to try to actually run it pretty hard. We've got Notre Dame in 6 days after. So, but the women only do a 6K, whereas the men do an 8K. So, in turn, the men, we're only going to run a few men, a couple of freshmen unattached that potentially aren't going to be going off to Notre Dame. To run an 8K, then 6 days later to run another 8K, it's a little bit tough. So we're going to really go for it on the women's side, and I believe there's about 20 teams or so there, and try to win the meet. And but on the men, maybe give some of these guys that won't be able to go on to. There's not a lot of opportunities for a young man that's coming in because they won't be able to race conference. They might not be able to race NCAA regionals and so on. So we'll give them an opportunity to race this weekend.
Are you happy with the progress to date of your men's and women's teams in the training aspects? Because you haven't had a whole lot of races, so.
No, we haven't had a whole lot of races, but we do. But the nice thing about our sport is we have a lot of tangible data that we can use from training and so forth. So we can see these workouts that they've done a year ago or 2 years ago, and we can compare that. We can go back 10 years ago. You can hear stories about so-and-so has run this fast on these loops or these courses. And so we have data to go on, and we can look at our athletes and say, hey, these two teams are running phenomenally well right now. They are healthy. I think the warm weather's helped tremendously in that regard, because as we make that transition from our summer mileage to more of some of the intense kind of stuff that we do during the season, typically it gets pretty cold, and that's kind of tough with it. We train early in the morning, so that where it's been 70, 80 degrees sometimes in the morning for us, that's been really nice for the athletes, and I think it's helped make that transition a lot easier than it has in the past 2 years. And so everybody's actually really, really healthy right now.
Well, and you especially said that the warm weather helps because we're Pac-12 championships this year.
Right, so we're down at Arizona State, and if anybody's been down to the Phoenix area in late October, it's still hot. It's still summertime. So that's gonna be tough. But cold weather schools do well in hot climates all the time. You look at the Michigans, the Wisconsins, the University of Washington women's team 2 years ago, and certainly the Oregon Ducks and so forth. Most of these great distance programs are from colder climates. So it's really just being fit and strong and healthy and being fresh when you go down to these hot weather places, and we do just fine. Our track team did great last year when the championships were down at U of A. So we expect the same from across.
Can you single out for me 2 women and 2 men that right now in their training you think are really at an optimal level of fitness?
I can't. I can single out 4 or 5. Certainly on the men's side, Andrew Gonzalez, Andrew Kimple, Jonathan Lafleur, and Justin Eaglin. And even to that regard, Drew Jordan, Todd Wakefield, Richard Sheroy, Mac, they all just, I'm really impressed by all of them. On the women's side, the same. I think we've got a core of 4 or 5 women that are doing stuff that, as a coach, that since I've been here for this my 3rd year, I haven't seen anybody do as far as the training that they're handling. They're strong, they're happy, they're healthy. And we hope, we're not going to really be changing much. We're a very aerobic-based system here, so I don't expect us to fare any worse in our training than we've been doing. I think we just got a good thing going. We're going to keep it that way.
Great. Thank you, and good luck this weekend.
Thanks.